Market conditions moving back to bullish in this bull market. S&P futures up slightly this morning, almost 0.5%, moving back towards this most recent resistance zone. We're seeing SPX, which has majority bullish 14, majority bullish on the 1 hour, as well as can just barely see it there, a little tick back into that bullish zone. Also, we've got this resistance supply block that's sitting right here at the upper end of this range, right at 6,000 on S&P 500. We'll see if we can push through that or if that repels us back to the downside again, but gaining some momentum to the upside here on S&P 500. Also seeing nice confirmation on breadth back to 40, which is the number of stocks above their 50-day moving average in the S&P 500, so back to 40%, so still 60% to the downside, but you can see we're pushing off of those extreme levels and starting to work back the other direction, which is what we want to see. In addition to price activity moving that direction, we want to see confirmation of breadth, that we're getting participation in more and more stocks moving into that rally, moving that direction for some bullishness. Also on VIX, we want to see it to the downside, which is here we've got a majority bearish at 14 on VIX on the daily time frame, and then also on the 1 hour time frame, majority bearish at 14 also. So again, as VIX is moving lower, then markets are typically moving higher. So we're getting additional confirmation there on sentiment also. So bullishness across the board for these. We're also seeing some short-term rallies in bonds, which is also what we want to see. We want to see some bullishness. We're seeing some compression here on SHY, which is the short end of that yield curve, and majority bullish on the 1 hour. So that trend is shifted back up on the shorter time frame, and almost there on the longer time frame. TLT, which is the long end of that yield curve, still significantly bearish, but having a couple of days of some bullishness here after really some oversold extreme levels. If we take a look at how that looks on the interest rates themselves, we want to see those moving lower. This is the 2-year Treasury, starting to see that also pull back just a little bit. We've got this compressed trend on the daily time frame, and this could be an indication here. We're kind of flattening, we're compressing. Now is going to be a decision point on trend direction. Do we continue to find some compression and ultimately move higher? That would mean rates are going higher, or do we ultimately move back to the downside as rates move back down and continue an overall downtrend? It's yet to be determined, but moving in the right direction right now, which is down for the 2-year Treasury and the 10-year Treasury also, or the 10-year yes, the 10-year bond moving back down and retracing back to that 457 area also. So bonds moving, interest rates moving lower in the last few days. Equity prices stabilizing here and looking bullish. We jump over and look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, also majority bullish across the board here on the daily time frame. The 1 hour time frame has also shifted trends pretty solidly and breaking back up above some price activity here now on Dow Jones Industrial Average. We'll see if again we get some follow through on this. Triple Qs majority bullish here as well, moving back into that buy zone. And so we've got really all three S&P Dow triple Qs moving bullish. Russell 2000 not quite there yet, not quite majority bullish. We're still sitting at 11 and 3. It was pretty weak in that overall downturn, but you can see in the shorter term 1 hour time frame starting to shift back to the bullish side as well. So bullishness across those four different indices. We're also seeing continued bullishness in oil USO, a strong move to the upside, and 14 majority bullish. This 1 hour time frame trend is extended when we go from compressed to expanded. This is what we would expect to happen, is just some consolidation, a little quietness, a little pause. We have a sprint, and then we get some consolidation happening where there's just got to be some rest, some opportunity for new demand to be created, and moving in the right direction. Though gold also has a nice continuation move, looking to break out of potential areas here around this 251 area on GLD. Keep an eye on gold. Also silver actually looking the most attractive right here, where you have this trend compressing. It's working its way back to a majority bullish and having a little bit of a pullback here, but starting to shift trend as well. Keep an eye on SLV. If that starts to work its way back to the upside, could see a nice follow through on SLV. A couple stocks to consider for today in the new buy list. Again, if you want access to the filter setup that we're using, you can go into our Discord server, which there's a link in the description of these videos and all videos to get you in there and get those filters added in there as well. BRIK, nice confirmation bar. Increasing volume back in the momentum zone. That's BIRK and stock. AVGO also in the top end of that list, looking nice towards not as strong as a confirmation bar, but increasing volume right at the location we want to see that. Broadcom in that 5G space, Internet of Things space. Royal Caribbean, we know what space they're in. Obviously, this stock has really done really well for most of the year and really the last couple of years. It's also moved back into this confirmation buy zone. Let me stop moving so it'll snap that fib tool to this low. We're back up above the 236, which is the momentum zone, and back into our bullish momentum green location, and increasing volume there as well. So some nice stocks to consider, some big names. There's also Google, which is in there, and having a nice confirmation move, nice rally off of this point, tight consolidation, and starting to move back into that momentum zone as well. Keep an eye on those names. And that'll do it for today's update. Everyone have a fantastic day today.